Good afternoon and welcome. On behalf of the Executive Director, staff, and members of the Georgia Southwestern State University African American Male Institute, I welcome you to a celebration of Black History Month and homecoming for GSW. As always, AAMI seeks to enlighten and uplift the spirits of all Hurricane family members as part of the overall educational process. We will follow the program as presented, and again, welcome. And because of an emergency, I will not be able to do a poem. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everybody. All right, the GSW AAMI program focuses on 4 basic objectives, which is to recruit, to educate, to retain, and to graduate African American males. Besides academic responsibilities, AAMI also focuses on important cultural and social responsibilities that makes a well-educated man for our whole society. AAMI is not only is just a small part of our university system, our sister institutions, and many organizations like SOB and Brother to Brother that have focused on the higher education of Black males in our state and in our country. If you have any questions or concerns or would like to be a part of AAMI, please see me, our executive director, or our executive assistant as listed in the program. Also, please stop by Crawford Wheatley Hall, rooms 210 or 212. Thank you for being here and enjoy the program.
He's able. Yes, I know God is able. He's able. Oh, I'm trying, I know He's able. He's able. Yes, I know that He can. I know that He can do it. He said He kept me through it. He's able. Oh, I know God is able. He's able.
Hold on, my brother, your change is gonna come. Be strong, my sister, for your work is not done, no. Keep on believing and hold on tight. He's able to bring you joy in the morning light. He's able. Oh, yeah. He's able. Yes, my God is able. He's able. Yes, above all. I know that He can do it. He said He'll help me through it.
Hold on, my brother. Your change is gonna come.
Let's give them another hand for a wonderful song. Our speaker today is from a single family home of 8, 6 brothers and 2 sisters. He's a motivational speaker, a former teacher, a coach, assistant principal, and coordinator and mentor for at-risk youth in Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Jackson is a former graduate of Georgia Southwestern State University, and he played here on the basketball team. As a coach, he has had the opportunity to coach many professional athletes, including Dwight Howard of the Los Angeles Lakers, Josh Smith of the Atlanta Hawks, Harry Douglas of the Atlanta Falcons, and Tony Douglas of the Houston Rockets. Dr. Jackson received a BS degree from Georgia Southwestern State University, and he also received a BS degree from Georgia State University. His master's degree in education was earned at Georgia College and State University, and his doctorate degree in education from Nova Southeastern University. He is a former principal of Point South Elementary, and he is now principal at Kendrick Middle School in Jonesboro, Georgia. He is also author of a book entitled Because My Teacher Said I Can, which is available in 14 countries. His motto is, what you do or what you fail to do in life is up to you. Don't let anyone tell you the sky is the limit when we have footprints on the moon. Dr. Jackson is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. He's a member of the Superintendent's Academy. He is a recipient of Young Leaders in Education Award, well as numerous education and leadership awards. What we need to do is welcome one of our own back to this campus during this homecoming week. So let's show Dr. Jackson a warm hurricane welcome.
I need y'all to stand up. Y'all need to stand right back up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just how I am. If you different, stand up and clap with me. If you different, clap with me. Come on. Clap. Come on. Get them up. Get them up. If you different, if you need, get them up. Y'all give yourself a round of applause. Don't sit down, 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 don't sit down. Real quickly, before you sit down, I would like for you to simply walk around and 5 people who you don't know before today, give 5 people a high five, real quickly. How you doing? How you doing, brother? How you doing, brother? 5 people and go back to your seat. How you doing? You miss energy. It's positive.
Positive.
It's positive. 5 people and go back to your seat. Thank you. How you doing, my brother? How you doing? How you doing today? How you doing? How you doing?
I need 2 more.
Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me. I'm just about to knock you down. I am so excited to be here. But before I get started, I just gave you a quick activity. I asked for you to go around and give 5 people a high five. 5 different people a high five. Raise your hand. Be honest. Raise your hand if you gave more than 5 people a high five. Be honest, we got a few. Probably about 20%. Always do more. I think I got my music still on, Mr. Hey, that's just how I am. That's how I feel. Always do more than you are asked to do. Remember that. Today I'm going to give you several little things for you to stick here. Write them down. If you don't have anything to write with, just keep them inside of here. Real quickly, I want you to look to your left. Say hello to the person on your left. Look to your right or your other right. Everybody looking all over. Your other right. Look to your right and say hello. I'm glad to be here, even though I have to sit next to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Anderson, for allowing me. I'm honored. You are in the top 5% in this country. Give yourselves a round of applause. Top 5% of what, you may ask? Only 5% of our population attends some type of seminar, motivational speaking, or engagement that's going to take them to another level. Only 5%. You may also see 75% written on the board. And I'm going to speak to that at this point. Raise your hand if you talk to yourself. Come on. Get them both up. I know I do. I know I do. But 75% of self-talk is negative. Poor me. Didn't do well on my last test. Poor me. I have so much going on. Pour me. I got family problems. Next thing you do is pour me a drink. Stay away from that. Stay away from that. Don't do that. What I gave out, several of you, I gave out positive affirmation. I talk to myself all the time. But mine is positive. You ever heard the saying, you reap what you sow? Your brain does not know a difference. What you put into it is going to sow, reap it. Very important that you be positive all the time. We live in such a pessimistic society where if you're happy, you actually frustrate other people. Honestly, I get it all the time. One of my students asked me the other day, Dr. Jackson, are you crazy? And I said, no. I said, why would you ask me that? And he said, well, you're always smiling. You're always happy. Are you upset? And I say, no. I major in the minor things. I woke up this morning. I had something to eat. I'm healthy. Whatever happens throughout the day, I'm fine. I gave out some positive affirmations. We're going to start with on this side of the room. I want you to stand up. I want you to speak yours. I want energy. I want excitement. And I want enthusiasm. Can I get that? Start over here. Who have one? Stand up. I've been fussing with her ever since she came in here. She's going to start it off.
My purpose of life.
Can y'all hear her? No.
My purpose of life is to help me handle my pressure of life.
Y'all give her a round of applause. Right here. Quickly. I am a winner. Come on. I need a little more energy. Over here? What about this row? Starting off in the back. Yes. Come on, put some pep in your step. She's unique. I need some energy. Here, show her how it's done.
I am as good as anyone else.
As good as anyone. Right here?
I am super talented.
All right, you got any? What about this row here? Oh, okay.
I am so smart.
Here?
I am
You definitely need that in college. She was back there bragging earlier, human resource, business major. Uh-oh.
I am God's magnificent creature, masterpiece.
God's magnificent masterpiece. She's a positive person. She's been smiling ever since she walked out the car. Here. Yes.
I work hard.
Work hard. 100% original. Definitely different. Anybody over here?
I have great ideas.
All right. She does. Over here, any more?
I'm willing to pay the price.
Pay the price. All right. Any more positive affirmations? She's confident too. Any more? Oh, we have one more.
I am making the world a better place.
As we celebrate Black History Month, as Mr. Anderson stated, I have several mentoring programs in Atlanta. I do a lot of mentoring work with at-risk youth. I have this image that's stuck in my head. And that image is from the Woolworths sit-in in Greensboro, North Carolina. If you don't know what that is, take a look at it. Look it up, Google it. You can Google anything. I have this image stuck in my head of these 4 African-American males sitting at the counter waiting to be served. They were spit on, called names, physically abused, sodas, shakes thrown at them, anything you can name. That was 53 years ago. They were demanding to be served, equal rights. Last summer in Atlanta, right after I visited the actual Woolworth where the sit-in occurred, I was at an IHOP in Atlanta. 4 guys came in, pants down here, real loud. It was 3 of them, so it was 4 of us now at a counter. And they reached over to me and they said, "Excuse me, what does this read right here?" And I said, "Colorado omelet." And that stuck with me. How can we go 53 years ago demanding to be served, and now in 2013 we have an opportunity to be served anywhere we go, and we can't read the menu? I'm going to come back to that in a minute. I need everybody to repeat after me. What I do or fail to do is up to me. I can change anything in my life if I want to. Starting today, I will focus on what I can do as opposed to what I can't. The sky is not the limit. We have footprints on the moon. Y'all like that one? I can tell y'all smiling. Y'all like that one. Those positive affirmations. Get you one of those little sticky tablets. Place them everywhere in your dorm room. Place them everywhere in your office. My teachers at my school, I have them up everywhere. I am awesome. I'm great. All of that, everywhere. They don't even like to have meetings in my office because I don't do the complaining. I'm a problem solver. Try that. Place those positive affirmations everywhere in your room. I need 2 volunteers quickly. Can I get 2 volunteers? Can I get 2 volunteers? Volunteers, 2, come on up, come on up. First 2, up, got 3. I just simply wanted to give y'all some money. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. Y'all give you 2 volunteers a round of applause. We've lost that. We've lost that. Why are we afraid to volunteer? Why are we afraid to be first? We've lost that as a society. In kindergarten, oh boy, I saw some student teachers. You ask for a volunteer to a group of kindergartners, the whole class coming running. They're not even waiting. But as you get older, you lose that motivation. You lose that drive. Many of you, when you came in here, you went straight to the back. I think he and I were talking. I think I may have shared with. I was like, we're afraid, we're scared to come to the front. Pay attention to that. Real quick question, since I'm addressing the African American male from the Institute. I've read several media reports and I have a question. That question is, do we have more African American males in prison or more African American males in college? Raise your hand if you think prison. And good, that's about 80% of the room. You're wrong. There are 1.2 million in college, and there's 817,000 incarcerated. That number is still high. That's a huge difference than what the media has portrayed. That gap even widens if you only took the African American males from the ages of 18 and 24. So remember that the next time you engage in some dialogue and giving the brothers a hard time. Carter G. Woodson once stated that if you can control a man's thinking, you don't have to worry about his actions. You don't have to tell him to go over there or go over here. He will stand right there in his place. You don't have to send him to the back door. He will automatically go to the back door. Then, if there's no back door, he'll try to create a back door. And I use that quote because that's actually what we did here. I asked for a volunteer. Everybody froze up. Automatic, subconsciously. When you go into a room, a conference, first day of class, and nobody's in there and you walk in there, where do you automatically go? To the back? It's automatically. You've sort of been programmed without even knowing it. Right now, I'm going to give you 3 rules. If you don't remember anything else I said here today, and I'm not going to be long, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson gave me 3 B's when he walked in early this afternoon. First of all, he told me to be here. He told me to be quick, and he told me to be gone. But I'll see you this weekend because I'll be back for the homecoming activities. I have 3 rules for you, and I picked up these 3 rules here at Georgia Southwestern, specifically when I played basketball. Mr. Anderson mentioned all my accolades and all those great things about Dr. Jackson. Many people, Mr. Anderson, know that's the glory. A lot of people don't know the story. You know the story. And I appreciate you bringing me back. Rule number 1, listen. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Where's my 2 ears and 1 mouth so you can listen twice as much as you talk. I want to take you through a quick activity right quick. I have 2 coins, a penny and a dime. Listen up. Sarah's mom has 3 kids. One of the kids' name is Dime, the coin, and the other child's name is Penny, 11 cents. What's the third child's name? Raise your hand. 2 coins. Miss Positive. She's absolutely right. Be honest with yourself. I see you on. Raise your hand if you thought it was a coin initially. You can raise your hand. You don't be bashful. Saw how easily I made you simply focus on this, when in actuality I gave you the answer right up front. Try that listening activity the next time y'all in the dorm playing spades. Y'all still do that? Do they still do that? Oh, he say they don't play spades no more. They on the computer. He say they way past that. Am I telling my age? Y'all don't play spades? They still do the spades, man. Oh, they just on the smartphones all the time. Rule number 1, you all must always be a great listener. If you ever get a chance to have an opportunity to see Michael Jackson's This Is It, that was his last performance. That guy was a great listener. Anybody you know who's successful, they are great listeners. And he could pick up a beat with his feet, and he can tell one of his choreographers are off task, off beat, without even seeing them. He was that great of a listener. You ever seen the movie, the little documentary, Undercover Boss? Wow. You have to go back down, get off your high horse, listen to your employees to keep your corporation going. Rule number 1 is what? Rule number 2, always, not sometimes, but always try your best. This is how you separate from being good to great. You know, when you go back to the dorm and take that nap in between classes, you get out at 10, you don't have another one until 12:15, you go back and take a nap for hour 45. She's like, yeah, I understand. We have competitors around the world, kids your ages, they're reading, they're researching, they're thinking of a way that they can create something totally different. I'm gonna share a story with you all. There's a new Ford vehicle out where if you have bags in your hand and you go to the trunk and you put your feet under the trunk pops up. I thought of that 5 years ago. I'm dead serious. And I was with my mom. I didn't act on it. And I say, wow, wouldn't that be great? We had a sensor or something that would automatically pop the trunk open. And I be dog, October 2012. And I saw the guy, he's smiling, the engineer, he just on TV smiling. I said, man, I thought of that 5 years ago. But he acted on it. We have to be innovators, and we have to always, not sometime, always try our best. And that's the process. When I played basketball, we had an old saying, we're not here to play, dream, or drift. We have hard work to do and heavy loads to lift. And that still applies with me today. In order for you to be successful, you have to be ready to work some long hours. You must be willing to pay the price. Where's the pay the price? There she goes. Y'all give her a round of applause. She just waved hers in the air. You have to be willing to pay the price. There's no elevator or escalator to success. You have to take the stairs, and the flight up is long. And finally, Never give up. When I was in college, I was a real good basketball player. Guaranteed to go overseas, make $150,000, $200,000 a year. That was automatic. Am I lying, Mr. Anderson?
No, you're not.
I'll pay you your $29.99 after, as soon as we leave here for catching my back on that one. But I'm being facetious, but I was a great we had some great players come through this university. I don't know how the basketball team is now. But we had some, I don't know. No, we've had major big-time All-Americans come through this school. Darren? Big time. I was told what to major in because the academic courses would be too rigorous for me. I was told to major in recreation, just like many of the other athletes were. I had no problem with it. I was going pro. My salary was projected between $150,000 and $200,000 overseas. So I really didn't sweat it too much until I almost died on the basketball court. I came back several years later, and a friend of mine, we were talking. Mr. Anderson, he always hears everything. He was sitting somewhere over here. And I said, man, they made me major in recreation. They made him major in recreation as well. And was like, man, now we have to try to figure out what our path is going to be. And he came to me. And he said, what you going to do about it? And I said, about what? And he said, I heard y'all talking about your major. What are you going to do about it? And he may not remember this. And he said, are you going to barbecue or mildew? And that stuck with me. That stuck with me, Mr. Anderson. I was listening to you, and you didn't think I was. I was all over the place when I was in college. But I listened to you. And I decided to go back to school that particular semester. You have to be relentless and regardless of pursuing greatness. I went back, received my degree. I'm one of the top principals now in the country, soon to be superintendent. I like to win. You need to be obsessed with winning. Be obsessed with first place. I hate second place. To me, that only means you're the first person to lose. Do you remember the young lady who visited the president after the Olympics? She's a gymnast. I mean, she had like 4 gold medals, and she won 1 silver, and the president held up the silver medal, and she did like this. She's obsessed with greatness. And if you're going to be successful in anything, you need to adopt that philosophy. Remember those 3 rules of life. Rule number 1. Rule number 1. Rule number 2. Rule number 3. Never give up. Write them down. Remember those 3. In closing, I'll be through in a minute, Mr. Anderson. Let me share a story with you that occurred in Atlanta during the Seahawks game. When the Atlanta Falcons played the Seahawks, I was at one of my friend's house, and he had some bad little kids. There was about 4 little boys. They were just running around all in front of the TV, knocking over the nachos. And I just got upset, and I said, you know what? Let me think of something for these little guys to do. So I saw a newspaper. So I tore the newspaper. And Southwest Airlines have just opened a hub in Atlanta. So I ripped the paper in small pieces, and I grabbed the Scotch tape, and I said, I'm going to make these guys put this back together. You know, boys are kinesthetic learners. We like to use our hands. So I said, come here. I said, I have a challenge for y'all. We love a challenge. I said, I want y'all to put this back together. Third quarter's about to start. Seattle started coming back. I said, oh, yeah. I tore it up in little bitty pieces, too. And I said, y'all go upstairs. So they went upstairs. And these kids came back in less than 5 minutes. And I said, how did y'all put this? I was through. I was like, how did y'all put this back together? How did y'all put this back together so quickly? They say, well, Dr. Jackson, we put the black man back together again. What I didn't see was on the back was a picture, of I Got Milk commercial with an athlete, and he said, we put the black man back together. And now, once we've done that, now we can find our place around the world. I was through. I just wanted to share that story with you. To all my men, everyone in here, and the men who are involved in this organization, the African American Males Institute. Finally, it's not what happens to you in life, is how you respond to it. You must be able to bounce back. Oh, I love these little guys right here. These are my tennis balls. I'm gonna throw you one. Can you catch? Y'all give her a round of applause. She been, I'm gonna throw you one. Mr. Anderson, I was in the place you were in a couple years ago. I lost my brother when he committed suicide. We just had a talk about you losing your mother. You definitely need one of these to bounce back. And you. That's your ball. I want you to keep it. Go ahead and bounce it. Good, it bounced. Great. Now, keep that with you. Put it on the shelf. And remember, whenever you think about that situation, that bad grade you made on the test, that situation that's going on at home, remember, you must always have that ability to bounce back. Now, see, I've been doing this for a minute now. See, I have some of these. These are mine. See, I walk around like this all day long. Bring me a problem, bring me a situation, that's fine. I look at it as a challenge, and I walk around like this all day long. And I have them right here, because I'm always going to bounce back. In conclusion, y'all like these, don't y'all? I'm going to let you hold on to it. You better give my ball back to you. In conclusion, I want you to remember a song. Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Whenever you're faced with that challenge, I want you to take the verses from that song. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep you from receiving your degree and achieving your dreams. I actually had to take a remedial writing class when I was here. I don't think those are even offered anymore. They stopped that fall, right? They still, when does that stop? And then maybe legislation may be up to cut that out. But I didn't allow that to stop me. Now, I'm a writer. My book is in 14 different countries. That's all I do now is write children's book. I have interviews coming up with Cartoon Network about putting this into a series. But I'm focused, I'm driven, I follow the 3 rules of life. I listen, I always try my best, I never give up. And finally, I need everybody to repeat after me. Dr. Jackson has given me 3 A's.
Dr. Jackson has given me 3 A's.
I'm awesome.
I'm
I'm amazing. And I'm appreciated. Thank y'all for having me.
So if you think he was asked to be quick, 3 times Dr. A said to me, Mr. A said to me, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. So I'm just going to keep saying that. I am Linda Randall. I am now, these days, I am the director of the Academic Skills Center. I took over the helm from the wonderful Linda Jones, who retired last year. We're trying to carry on her legacy. And I'm also the first-year advocate, so many of you have been my babies now, because this is my 3rd year. I have, when I came to GSW 3 years ago, I was very concerned that we did not seem to be celebrating Black History Month. That did not compute. I came from Massachusetts, so we started again anew last year and again this year. So I just want to remind everybody in the house that Black history is American history. And Black history is world history. And the reason we have a month, thanks to Brother Carter G. Woodson, when it started out as Negro History Week, the reason we have a month is because when we don't include everyone, we don't have an inclusive U.S. history, then we have to have set aside months. But as soon as we include everybody's history in our history and it becomes our story, it's not that there won't be a need, it will morph over time, but there is nothing but excellence to celebrate. We all stand on the shoulders of the giants before us. Today, of course, is Valentine's Day, and some of you have a boo and some of you have a boo-hoo. But I want to kind of redefine what love is. Some of you have the pink sheet and there's some in the back, but love is revolutionary. And so the best way that you can love yourself and the best way that you can honor and love your ancestors, all of us, regardless of our hard candy shell, is for us to do those things, to walk in excellence, to listen to wise counsel, as the word teaches us, and to take ourselves to that next level, to not settle. You know, my office, our building has been renamed the Academic Center for Excellence for a reason, because we walk in excellence there. And we welcome you to walk in excellence with us. GSW is an exciting place, going places, and that spirit is you. You are the spirit and the lifeblood of GSW. And we produce great leaders. Today is evidence of that. And you are the leaders of our future, and we are so glad that you are here with us. So give it up, students, for yourselves. Thank you.
I won't be long. I have a few announcements to make. First of all, I would like for everyone to give our president a hand, Dr. Blanchard. Make sure you enjoy all of the homecoming activities this week, and please be safe. After this program until 8:30, Mr. Brandon Weems will be taking pictures for anyone who want to take pictures. Another thing you need to do, we need our students to be serious about your education, because your education is an investment in your future, and that is where you're going to live, in your future. Real quickly, when you leave out of here, we have light refreshments in the hallway. We would like for everyone to go out that door and come back in that door to sit down in here and conversate. Please spend some time with Dr. Jackson. I know he has to leave, but he will be back tomorrow. But please carry on small conversation with Dr. Jackson, because he's already talked to a couple of students who has already asked him for a job. Thank you all for coming out. Thank the panel. Thank Kamaya, she's out there, the executive assistant. The gospel choir sounded so wonderful. So thank you all for coming out.
And real quickly, just about the positive affirmations. I feel that there's a session going on. And I have to know that too.